Assalamu alaikum. You're tuned into the Sajdah channel. Welcome to our Sajdah morning coffee talk, where we talk about life, love, and business. Make sure you like and subscribe, be a friend and tell a friend, and we'll be back on the other side of these commercials. I'll see y'all in about 2-3 minutes.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee. And he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee. And I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who in my judgment is the master historian, taught us that of all our studies, history is the most attractive, and it is best qualified to reward the researcher. History is most attractive. Why should history be most attractive? Because history is the recorded time of the human family in its struggle to overcome obstacles. There is no life that is without struggle. The Holy Quran teaches us that man, meaning man and woman, is made to face difficulties. And after difficulty comes ease. But it is history that guides us through difficulty. For if you know how people who had difficulty yesterday got through, and if your difficulty is somewhat similar, then today we also can get through if we follow the guidance of history. This is why Carter G. Woodson and many of our black giants fought for black people to know our history. Because in not knowing our history, we don't have a guide. And without a guide, we are lost. No wonder the Bible...
Assalamu alaikum, family. Peace be unto you. Welcome to the Sajdah channel. This is the Sajdah Morning Coffee Talk, where we talk about life, love, and business. Let's see what I got today. I got some decaf coffee with oat milk creamer in it. I don't know what y'all sipping on. Let me know in the chat. Wow. It's a lot going on. It is a lot going on. And those of you who know me, you know that I've been saying for a very long time that there is a deviant sexual subculture in our community that needs to be addressed and that needs to be eradicated in order for us to elevate and progress. And I've been saying this for years. So many times, you know, when it comes to things like this, we remain silent. It's just one of them old nasty remnants of slavery where when things don't look right, we just don't say nothing. We're quiet. It's causing mental illness in our community. It really, really, and truly is creating a huge divide between us. And this is why we have to work on our traumas. We have to work on our insecurities, because a lot of times when we feel insecure, it's easy to coerce us into some stuff. We don't really feel comfortable with ourselves, so we're going out a lot. We're not comfortable being home, or we just got a fear of missing out. And so we stay in the streets and we find ourselves being imprinted by the behaviors of other people that are around us. Next thing you know, you into what they into. Or somebody propositions you for money. So many of us are sitting here going, I don't want to work. I just want to be famous. I just want money. So if I can get out here and do something, if it's a little sex or showing a little this or showing a little that, and I can get money, then that's what a lot of us are doing. And it's not age discriminate. You got 80-year-olds out here twerking on TikTok. It's for attention, it's for likes. We're so deficient in our spirituality that we would sell ourselves out just to get attention. I mean, this is real. We got old people and young people out here doing the same thing, seeking the same thing. Who is programming us? What is programming us? It sounds so simple for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to say to us, first, love yourself. It sounds so simple that we don't even understand the profound wisdom in that instruction. But yet, it is that lack of love for self that is causing us to engage in all this deviant behavior that really, y'all, I'm telling you, is messing us up. And I don't care what you say. You know, it used to be that you could say, well, you know, people who do this are successful. They good. But Allah is busting that up. We got to stop. Some people, it is so common and okay for people who are married with children to just be out here doing all kind of stuff with people outside of their partner. And yeah, mistakes happen. See, because here's the thing. See, stuff is going to happen. There's all kind of energies that are flowing out here. You're going to see somebody, you're going to meet somebody. It's all kind of stuff that's going to happen. But when you are actively engaging in something that you know is impeding the success of what you claim you're committed to, it's not good. And I'm not saying this being self-righteous or pious. I'm just saying to us as a people, this sexual subculture that we have in our community that we don't talk about, that we ignore, we got to start paying attention to. And it starts with us. Starts with you, starts with me. When we see something, we have to say something. Y'all know we have record numbers of little girls and little boys missing in our community, being sex trafficked, being abused. Some who have seen this lifestyle so much around them that they're actually running away from home to go live a certain lifestyle. And it extends beyond socioeconomic boundaries. This ain't just poor people. You got suburban children on the internet looking, going, I think I want to go do that. Meanwhile, you got people who are being pimped into certain situations and they want out. But just as much as they want out, you got people in our houses of children who want in. A lot of us as grown women, when we get ready to get dressed up and go to an event or a party, what do we put on? It has gotten to the point where stripper culture has become our fashion culture in a lot of ways. We don't even think something is fly or beautiful unless we take clothes off. I was looking at, there's so many of my friends who have children who are going to prom. And I was looking at the dresses of the little girls and they look like grown prostitutes. And the parents are like, oh my gosh, she looks so beautiful. I saw one girl had a split down the front and it came all the way down to her navel. Little material that covered up her chest, and then her whole back was out down to her upper split on her backside. Hair, makeup, and the parents are like, look at this. What are we doing, y'all? What are we doing? So see, I personally think that this is my own personal opinion. This ain't nobody else's opinion. I think we're about to see, and it's going to be interesting how we react to this, a big takedown with a lot of people who many of us are following socially. And inshallah, those people take the opportunity to learn and grow and expand from the deviant behavior that they more than likely have been coerced into themselves. I think it's time. And I've been saying this for years. Whether it's, you can't even name cities anymore. When I was a young adult coming up, it was all about everybody, let's go to Atlanta. Let's go to Magic City. Let's go to the strip club. That's what it was all about. And then other cities didn't really have that culture, except for like LA, New York. But I'm talking about outside of that. And then it got to the point where it's just everywhere. And it's in the music. Our music has a vibration that arouses us. And sometimes we don't even know, we're just singing along. And then you wonder why when somebody comes and makes a suggestion to you, then you go to it and go do it very easily. This whole idea of spirituality that we're talking about, spirituality in business, spirituality in life, spirituality in our relationship, almost seems like a foreign concept. But I believe that there's enough of us out here that are pushing source energy, Allah's energy, supreme wisdom, pushing in that direction that we are causing this shift that we are experiencing in our cultural expression. We can't be the men and women of God. We can't be direct descendants of Almighty God, Allah, the Creator Himself, and be out here acting like deviant savages. And I know this is supposed to be life, love, and business, but let me tell you something. It affects our businesses. If you're successful, you call yourself successful. Let's say you've already defined in your mind what success is, and you feel like you've reached those goals. You're good. You've done so well. Think about how much more you could do if that aspect of your life was cleaned up. But it's like we've thrown the Bible out the window. We've thrown the Holy Quran out of the window. But guess what? These very same business people that you admire, they have a spiritual basis. They have spiritual standards. They will be the first people to tell you that entrepreneurship and spirituality go hand in hand. Go check out Dennis Kimbrough's interviews with successful millionaires. Just Google it, and you'll see the things that they have in common. What they all have in common are very strong relationships with God. Brother Bedford has, you can Google this, Brother Bedford has interviewed millionaires and talked to them, and you will see what is the through line. And we're talking about successful millionaires, people who have sustained, not this up and down. So if you're practicing certain behaviors that you know you need to clean up, let's just work on cleaning it up. Especially as you begin to elevate in your career, in your business, in your life. Fix it, clean it up. It ain't too late. It's not too late. But we are seeing a shift because it's time. This subculture in our community has got to end. You got 75% of Black men. If you ask them, what was your first sexual experience? They're going to give you an age more than likely 10, 11, 12. And if you ask them who it was with an older woman. You ask these little girls, same thing. We at the point now where everybody just having sex with each other. It's just wild out here, just buck wild, full out Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm telling you, if we don't get this in check, this is a moral issue that if we don't get it in check, it's going to be the death of us. It's going to be the death of our success. It's going to be the death of our lives. It's going to be the death of us. It's time. It's time for us to win, y'all. Let's win. Let's stop drugging ourselves with this sexual subculture that, again, I keep saying it is killing us. It got our babies missing. It's people out here who spend millions of dollars on their children, private schools, programs, athletics. And then we lose them, not necessarily to the streets anymore, but to this deviant sexual underbelly That's in our culture. We lose them to that. And sometimes we don't know what's wrong because we can't imagine. We don't even want to think about our babies living certain lifestyles. So we can't think about it. We can't even fathom it. We can't even imagine. And then when people want to attack us, especially Black women and Black men, what do? We get attacked based on these sexually deviant behaviors that most of us got from somebody else. As Black women, you got women who can't have children or who didn't have children or who, like myself, thought that it just didn't present itself. I wish I had a whole bunch of children. That's why I'm always adopting and taking y'all children up. Okay, come on over. Let's hang out. Let's take some classes together. What can I teach you? How can I support? But what do? They attack women without children. What they call it? Childless cat ladies. Or if a woman has a lot of children, then it's like they got a problem with her because she got a lot of children. Why would she have all them children by that man? Or why she got all them children by all them different men? Everything is a sexual attack. This predator even looks at us based upon how effable we are. If you're older and you still look good and your body look good, then they're like, okay, you got value. Why? Because they still want to F you. If you're younger and you look older and you got body, oh yeah, she got it going on. Everything is based on that level of judgment. If somebody see you hanging out with somebody, oh, they must be doing something. Somebody sees you talking to somebody, oh yeah, I know what's up with that. We got to work on this, y'all. This deviant sexual subculture is going to kill us. In fact, about it, it is killing us now. And I'm speaking now for the babies because we're losing our babies. My friends are parents. I got nieces, I got nephews, and we're losing them to that. They out here in this sex-crazed world doing things that they ain't got no business doing, but doing things that's killing them, that's cutting off our generational wealth. When you think about history and you think about 50 years from now, where are they going to be? What are they going to be doing? What is somebody going to write about them? Oh, they was a stripper? Or, oh, they were a child predator? They were a womanizer, a man manipulator? What's going to be written? What is the legacy? What are we passing on? And when I look at when this, I was studying this the other day, and I said, when you got to the 70s, probably around my parents' age, they were like that first full generation that was able to go downtown and go to work and kind of have their own freedom. And most of their children became latchkey children. Put that key around your neck, get your ass in that house, don't open the door, don't talk to nobody, make you some macaroni and cheese, get you a grilled cheese, and I'll be home at 6. And so a lot of people raised themselves or had large gaps of time where they were alone. And it's in those gaps of time while our parents were away that they started to sneak in crack cocaine, all this sexual deviation. It started to really come in. And then by the time we started having children, they were products of this environment that was created while our parents was at work. You'd be hard pressed to find somebody in that age group that wasn't on drugs, that wasn't experimenting with stuff, that wasn't doing things that was other than themselves. And then children were produced out of that. And now those children are a product of a certain type of environment. But the programming began a couple generations ago. And so now the music changed, everything changed. And so it's just constant programming. When you see your mama get dressed up, you used to be able to watch them put on really nice dresses and church clothes or long evening gowns and stuff like that. But now it's, let me see what Cardi B got on. No offense to Cardi B. Let me see what the latest stripper got on. Let me see what's happening. You got female artists out here who are, it's embarrassing. There's nothing left to the imagination. I mean, what is this? What are we doing? We got to fix it. If our sister's running for president, she don't need nobody twerking on stage. What message are you sending to the people around the world? She don't need your cheeks on stage bouncing to get people to look. That's not cool. Listen, y'all might be saying, who am I? This is just my opinion. This is just my opinion because I do a lot of coaching and a lot of counseling. And probably 90% of what's wrong with us and what's going on with us is some type of sexual act that has happened to us that is impacting our future. Whether we were abused as children, whether we were promiscuous as children, it just has to be addressed. We have to stop hiding it under a bushel basket. Put some clothes on. Let's focus. Let's focus on legacy. Let's focus on success. Let's focus on introducing much needed goods and services into our communities. You see, the government is not really thinking about us. You can't even say Black program anymore. You can't even focus on Black people anymore without being sued or without saying, I got to add 1,000 other people into it. So if anybody's going to save us, it's going to be us. We have to get up and do something for ourselves. It's time. We got to just stop it. Let's focus. There's other things we can do with each other besides have sex. Constantly over and over again. Let's focus on our marriages, our families. Let's focus on relationships. And for those of us that are single, let's focus on developing other skills. You should be able to tune in. You should be able to damn near read the future and write and present and do all of these amazing things. What are we doing? What are we leaving? What is our legacy? What is our legacy? What are you leaving? Damage, sexual damage that you're doing to other people? That's what you're leaving behind? And if your star shines bright, if you're a leader or a celebrity or an influencer, be mindful. Be mindful how you present yourself. Be mindful of the image that you're putting out there about your people around the world. If you move to Africa, don't not go over there and open up a strip club. There's plenty of other businesses. Africa's wide open. There's plenty of other businesses that you can take your education and your expertise over there to do other than sex work. And people like to say, well, it's the oldest profession. Well, that just tells you how long women have been being abused. You could say, well, but stop it. Stop with the excuses. Stop with the deceptive intelligence. Stop with the Well, the willing participants, stop, and stop. Just stop it. Just be quiet and figure out, what did you show up on the planet to do? Was it to be a sexual predator? Was it to prey on other people and hurt other people's children? Was it to rape and ravage people? And I'm not just talking to men, because you got women out here that are just as manipulative. I told you, most of these brothers out here, if you ask them, when is the first time you had relations and who was it with, you'd be surprised at how many of them are going to tell you that they were young and that it was with an older girl or maybe even a woman. So the abuse that happens to them just goes unnoticed. The black man is just unpersoned. So it's both sides. It's a culture in our community that if we don't start talking about it, and if we don't start addressing it, and if we don't stop being freaks, we're going to be written off this planet, y'all. You're going to see a shift that's happening that's going to give you a sign of that. It's going to tell you that. I believe God is tired. I believe that. You can't sit here and say 1 minute, I want freedom, I want justice, I want equality, I don't want to be a slave and this, and this, but yet you are practicing the behaviors that were imposed upon your mothers and fathers. What are you doing? It's a brother in the chat just said his babysitter was the first. I'm trying to tell y'all, this stuff is real. But you can't go, well, the slave master, the white man, and I don't like him, and I don't want to be a slave, and let me do all these slave movies, but this little sexual deviant behavior, we're going to keep that. You're so turned out and turned on, you don't even know where it comes from. We have no concept of the spiritual gift of that type of relationship, that type of relations. We have no concept of the spiritual elevation that can come from that type of experience. Because for one, number one, we're not taught it. We don't think about it. And number two, we're just functioning, crawling around on all fours in an animalistic type of way. It has to be addressed. We have to stop being savages. You cannot expect to be saved if you are a savage. Some of this savage behavior, we got to fix it. We got to stop it. It's one thing to say, stop the killing. Well, let's stop this other stuff too. It's a lot going on. It's a lot of people going down. It's probably a lot of people that have already snitched and told on this brother. It's probably a lot of people that them 3 letters and already talked to, who already said, yep, so-and-so was there, so-and-so, this happened, that happened. Because we get so caught up in celebrity and wanting to be popular that if somebody invite us someplace, we just want to go. We just want to be in the space. We just want to look hot, because when we come back amongst our friends and they see photos of us with these people, or they heard that we was at so-and-so's house and at this party and that party, that it gives us a certain clout. And don't let them give us a couple of dollars. Oh, we there. We right there, all up, front and center. We have to stop. We have to stop. And then when you take an insecure person, a person who is insignificant, who's been disregarded, probably got stuffed in a locker in high school or something like that. You take that person, you give them a little attention, and then the predator tells them, hey, if we start doing this kind of stuff, we can get money. It's no different than selling drugs. It's no different than somebody telling you and they put that crack rock in your hand and you go out on the corner and you sell it and you make the money, then you get addicted to the fast money. The same thing happens with the attention that comes from these sex parties and being a sexual deviant. It's the same thing. It's the same drugs, same endorphins, same thing. But most of the time we know what we're doing. You done been to college, you done been around, and you know what happens at those events. But you go anyway because you don't want to look like the person who's not going or who's not there. So what if people think you weird? Don't go. Don't participate in this stuff. Go do some yoga. Go meditate. Go pray. Dance around in your house. Find you a group of friends that you can kick it with and hang with who are not into this or who respect the fact that you're not. But it has to be addressed. We got to stop it. We have to talk to our children about it. We have to recognize it. Stop acting like you can't be in your children's business. Look, Allah probably said, Sajdah, you don't need no children because I'll be all up in their business, all on their social media account, everything everywhere, because these predators are slick. And you don't oftentimes know who they are. So, when we were growing up, we couldn't go over nobody's house and spend the night. I don't ever remember packing a bag and going over somebody's house to spend the night. My parents wasn't having that. So stop all this sleepovers and hanging out with this person. You don't know who these people are. You don't know what their background is. You might like them. You might love them. You might know them from church. You might know them from the mosque, but don't let your children sleep over there. You don't know them like that. You don't know where they came from. You don't know what they're struggling with. Everybody's trying to get resurrected from the dead. So you don't know what deadly activities they're trying to bring themselves out of. You don't know they children like that. You might feel like, okay, I know the parents is good, but they over here, they got a daughter that your daughter is tight with, but the daughter got 2 brothers. You don't know what them children is doing and are willing to do to your children. And if you know you working on coming out of something yourself, you don't know what done jump down in your children. Don't do it. Don't do it. We gotta make a change. There's enough that can happen just from general natural interactions. You're gonna meet people you're attracted to. You're gonna meet people that you think are cute or sexy or that you think are fly. That's gonna happen. And sometimes things do happen. But where do we go from those natural attractions to this predatory sexual deviation that is basically satanic? Where do we go? Where is that? Where we got to just be in an environment that is just billowing with sexual energy. What is that? Some people say, oh, it's power, it's money, it's love. Whatever it is, we got to address it and we got to stop it. If you see it in your friends, if you see it in your children, if you see it in your coworker, if you see it and people are doing stuff, if you see something, you got to say something. We got to stop this. Just like we have to start buying black, we got to put just as much attention on this kind of stuff. You got whole websites out here and Facebook pages full of girls and women that are missing, who've been stolen, sex trafficked, or who've actually run away and decided that they wanted to go live a certain lifestyle. Why are we ignoring that? When's the last time you reposted something about a missing girl or a missing baby? When's the last time? You got teachers in schools having sex with children. Are we crazy? Yes. We're nuts, but we got to work on this. I start turning on TikTok and I see 80-year-old women twerking. That's a problem. Where's Big Mama? Where's the older adult that gives the advice to the younger children? Or are they busy trying to twerk? What is that? You got older men out here that should be able to have advice for older, young, or for younger men out here trying to be pimps. What is wrong with us? So you can't decide that you want some of the slave master's behavior, but then the rest of it you don't want. See, we already know we were sexual objects. We were bed warmers. We were bred. All of our emotions was taken out of us when it comes to sex during slavery. You remember that line in Harriet Tubman where she said, they sold my sister down south where nobody know her name? That was common. We didn't know if somebody was our brother or sister because you can't go by last name. Because if I'm on the Jackson plantation and the slave master decides to sell me to Thomas, then I become, and I was Sally Jackson on this plantation, then I become Sally Thomas when somebody else purchased me. And then let's say I have a child and it's Millie Thomas or little Millie, then they take and sell Millie to another plantation and Millie becomes Millie Jenkins. But we all relatives, we all spread out. And then they do what? I got a wench that I can breed to a good buck. That wench and that buck might be cousins or brothers and sisters. Sometimes we know it, sometimes we don't. These are the types of behaviors that were imposed upon us. We can't keep practicing the same thing that happened to us when we were kidnapped. We can't keep doing the same thing, you guys. So we have to start studying and learning and stop making excuses. Stop. I wish these brothers would stop going online and using this deceptive intelligence. It's just time to bust this stuff up. Yes, the white man is using this against us. Yes, they spy on us and use mercenaries so they can get in our organizations and hear us on the phone and get up close to us socially so they can see what our weaknesses are. Yes, they may charge us with the crime of sex trafficking and not charge the white man over here that's the big mogul. Yes. But it does not dismiss the fact that we got to stop these behaviors now. We have to stop practicing the same behaviors that were imposed upon us and were used to abuse us when we were first kidnapped. That went on for 400 years. We got to stop it. Some of us have epigenetics. We came from buck-breaking plantations. Most of us don't know it, but some of us came from plantations where it was just all about breeding, just like you breed a dog or a horse. You got a mare, you want her to drop a fowl, you go to the farm or to the plantation that has all these different bucks. You pick one, okay? She's a bay mare. I'll breed her with a palomino because I want to see if I can get this cool combination. You pay your money, you breed it, you take your mare back home, and she drops the fowl. She don't got no relationship with the buck over there. And the child ain't got no relationship with him. That is how we were handled. You had entire plantations that were nothing but breeding plantations. Some of us come from those plantations. And that epigenetics is following us. It's time for us to heal and dig into this and fix this and figure this shit out. Because guess what? That same person that you mimicking, that same person that kidnapped you, that taught you this bullshit, is going to be the one that's going to take you down. And then all of a sudden you're going to get on the internet. But that ain't right because Mr. So-and-so, this person and that person, they doing it. Yeah, they doing it. Is it fair how they taking us down? No, it's not. Should we be in mental institutions? Probably. But guess what? They don't care about you and they're not going to help you heal. So if you got a child that you know has a mental illness, help them. If you got a nephew, a niece, a cousin, a sister, a brother, and they struggling with mental illness, help them. Say something about it. It ain't funny. It ain't something you ignore. Get them some help. Stop waiting for somebody else to come and save you. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to lock them up and put them in jail. Just go down to the court. You'll see how many people with mental illnesses that are down there facing charges, doing life in prison. Just go check it out. There's nobody coming to save us. There's no institution coming. We got to get up and do something for ourselves. We got to take the wisdom and knowledge that we know that we have around us. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan have a wealth of information and knowledge out there that you can use that includes tools to help you resurrect, evolve, and elevate up out of this deviant behavior. To me, it's the most powerful body of information that you can access, more powerful than any other church or any other spiritual organization that you want to be a part of. We got the answer and we got the program. And if you know us as Muslims, you see the testimonies all over. We take somebody that what you might call in the gutter, and next thing you know, they clean skin, shaven, dressed up, covered up, eating right, living right. But I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm trying to told y'all, we got to do it. We got to stop it. Let's find our babies. Let's be examples for our children. Let's be examples for people who are looking at us. Let's become leaders of moral character. It's very difficult. Let me tell you something. I invited somebody to go out to the mosque on Sunday. It's a brother I saw that was struggling. And I just remember thinking to myself, when that mirror comes up in your face, it sometimes is the hardest thing you ever have to face. It's very difficult to stay focused, to live a lifestyle. It's not an easy lifestyle. This is not an easy lifestyle. I've had people who know me say, girl, it'd just be easier if you just find you a N-word and get him to finance you and you ain't got to do all this. It's not easier to me because I care about my relationship with God. So no, it's not an easy lifestyle. It's not an easy lifestyle to say, if I'm getting ready to go out in the public, I got to dress a certain way. I got to be a certain way. I got to present a certain way. It's not an easy lifestyle when I want to cuss somebody out and I may not be able to, or that I probably shouldn't. I got to find creative words to get them told. It's not an easy lifestyle. And a lot of people give up. But you got to keep striving and you got to keep going. If you make a mistake, you fall down, you bust your kneecaps, you skin up your hands because you fell hard. You got to get up, dust yourself off, get that stuff together and keep going. Don't ever give up. It'll get easier. But the minute it gets easy, then there's something else you got to fix, something else you got to work on. But it's worth the struggle. At least let's give our children a fighting chance to see us struggling. All right, y'all. I didn't mean to come out here and fuss at y'all for 45 minutes, but that just was on my spirit. I'm sick of it. I'm just tired of it. My thing is let's start healing. I'm not about throwing nobody away, but I'm about us going, hey, look, we got to heal. You don't need 6, 7 men. You don't need 6 and 7 women. You shouldn't even want your spirit and your energy to be mingled and commingled like that. And I'll say this last thing. I think it's more common for us to teach women the sacredness of their bodies. But it's less common to teach boys the sacredness of their body and the importance of saving themselves. We got to do better, y'all. We got to do better. Yeah, I know this is mind of an entrepreneur, conscious entrepreneurship, but it's all about us creating new business models, doing things a different way, because this little nasty subculture follows us everywhere we go. We talked about on the show how people love bomb trying to get contracts and stuff. What are you doing? People try to have sexual relationships because they're trying to get money and get a contract and manipulate. It follows us everywhere we go. A lot of you are in business right now because of some sexual deviant thing that has happened that either helped you get your contract or caused you not to have a contract or make people look at you like you crazy or whatever. But some people are in position because of that. We have to stop. So come on over where you could get a wealth of knowledge. Are we perfect? No, we're not. We got struggle. Everybody's struggling. Everybody's trying to come up out the grave. We're all victims of the same 400 years of torture, abuse, and deviation that we are trying to clean up out of our epigenetics. We're trying to get that residue up out of us. So the struggle is real, but it's so very worth it. It is so worth it. It is the most beautiful thing you can ever imagine to experience. To be in a position where you make the reality of God known just through the evolution of your life is a very beautiful and powerful position to be in. It's way more powerful than being a sexual predator or whatever else you into. To be in a position where you know and recognize that God came to make himself known. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, well, how else will he make himself known unless those that know him, I'm paraphrasing him, make it known. And then you able to respond to that and say, well, I'm going to do what I can to make the presence of God known through my actions, through my presentation, through my vibe, through my conversation, through my voice, my presence. Everything around me should represent the fact that there is a true and living God on the scene. And I know him. You know how powerful that is? So come on, y'all. Come on. Because nothing else is going to work. You can go to counseling. You can get you a coach. You can watch all these programs you want, but until you come and get into this work and get into the self-improvement process and get into the struggle, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The presence of God is obvious. He's here. But he can't be known if those of us who know him don't let people see us. I'm going to continue this tomorrow because A lot of us, we think we know God until we get out in the world and have to demonstrate, until you get out there and see what it's like to be to have attention, to be propositioned. What are you going to do? To have attention, to be drunk off the spotlight, to be propositioned, but still have to make money and manifest in the face of that controversy. That's how you'll know if you a real Muslim or you a real Christian. Can you go out amongst that temptation and be a beacon of hope, a beacon of life, a representative of God? So come on, y'all. This sexual subculture, we got to bust this up. We got to get rid of it. It's time out for it. It's old, and people are going to continue to judge us based on that if we don't get up out of it. We got to get up out of it. We got to take the step, take the plunge, and start working on ourselves. Okay, y'all. I see Sister Monica just came in. She said, blessed and great Friday, just getting to my flight gate. Can't wait to go back for this one. Okay, safe travel, sis. May Allah bless you. Brother Robert says, powerful words of truth. Servant Nasir says, keep flowing, sister. Thank you. It's worth the struggle. It sure is. Brother Robert says, my people, this is a conversation that is a true example of someone who loves you. Thank you, Sister Sajdah, Wendy Muhammad. Thank you. I really, really do, because I'm blessed sometimes to be able to see certain things. And I see all this sexual deviation around us and among us. And I can see how it's holding us back. And because we're doing it in the dark, or we think we're doing it in a safe space, we think that nobody else can see us. But there are people out here who can see. And when you get among the people of God who Allah has blessed to be able to see or to have healing powers, you want to be among the gifted. You want to be among the righteous. You want to be among the ones that they can say and see are an example. You want Allah to be able to say, that's my baby right there. And the beautiful thing about Allah is that He loves us no matter what. So why not tap into it and find another way of living, another way of being? It's horrible for our babies to be out here admiring all of these people, and these people are sexual predators. It's terrible. So what is that saying to that child's mind? All right. Okay, family. Let's see. Brother Lamont, you're right. He said, you're right. It has to be addressed. I agree. 100%. Happy Friday, Mom. I see you there. Somebody else just, okay. All right, family. May Allah bless us to take the plunge and go through the struggle, get on the spiritual journey. It's not too late. It's okay if you've done some things in the past. It's just time now to fix it. It's time now to get it together. It's time now to nurse on the mercy and grace of Allah and get yourself in the process of resurrection. We have in the Nation of Islam a processing class. It is where you are introduced into the resurrection process. Is where your soul is guided to begin to submit itself to a process of resurrection that is holistic. It is mental, it is spiritual, it is physical. There's nutritional guidelines. So it's being made over. It's a makeover. It's a do-over. It's a resurrection process. And those of us who have gone through the process are in the resurrection business. It is our job to teach and train and be an example for others. See, I don't want your babies looking at me going, she a sexual deviant, or she a this or that. No, we have to be responsible. We have to be responsible because that is our assignment, to teach and train others. It says in our lessons, it is the job of the civilized to teach and train the uncivilized. Well, right now, ain't none of us civilized. Almost all of us is uncivilized. So all I'm saying is, let's be motivation and teach and train each other so we can get to that level of civilization and teach and train one another from that space of a civilized person. It is the only process that's going to help you right now, today. We are taught that Islam comes after all else fails, and all else has failed us. And let me say this last thing. Don't come in looking at the people. I am not saying that all the people that have gone through this process or that are part of facilitating this process for you are perfect. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying even that you might find out some things about them. I'm not even saying that. But what I'm saying is that the process is a perfect process. It is an organized and perfect process. And together, we can elevate and navigate through this spiritual evolution and resurrection process. All right, family. Happy Friday. Love you all very much. Wishing each and every one of you more goodness, more love than you've ever experienced or imagined. That's it. I'll see y'all tomorrow, inshallah. Sajdah, Saturday morning coffee talks. We're going to talk about life, love, and business. Peace and blessings, family.